The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a somewhat long night of SGLs because we have two matches coming up, one after the other, folks. But before we dive right into them, I want to introduce myself. I have the only Mazhar, and with me, I have someone else in the commentary booth. So, everyone, please welcome in Emerald City RC's Toad Death. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here. I am excited for another doubleheader. I enjoy the more prolonged SGL nights. You know, you can just put it on, watch. You can eat your bowl of ramen or whatever you're trying to eat before you fall asleep, and then watch some SGL as a little lullaby before you hit the hay. So I do like these longer format streams.
Heck yeah. But with that said, we do have a couple of really exciting matchups here for tonight, folks. We have a battle between two armies, a battle between two teams, each featuring an accountant, and a battle between two teams that are probably struggling this season, but are starting to hit their form and starting to get better as the season progresses. The first match for tonight will be between Steel Army and Timbers Army. Steel Army representing Pittsburgh Riverhounds, their SG, and Timbers Army representing Portland Timbers, their SG. And then right after that, folks, we won't be taking a break. We won't be waiting. We'll dive right into the second match, which will start soon afterwards. And that is between the Rebellion of New England Revolution and El Matador of FC Dallas. Toad, what are your thoughts on the upcoming matchups for today?
Well, okay, so the Battle of the Accountants has been on the books for I don't know how long now. Right off the bat, we were hearing some accounting chat in the chat of previous streams, and I've been like, oh wait, no, hang on, I gotta circle this one on my calendar. And finally, the days arrived. What is this, October 22nd? I gotta fact check real quick. October 21st, it's been circled. So honestly, I've been excited for the accountant battle. I think I'm gonna give the edge to Rydog. I think maybe, I don't know. I also really like Debit, so I don't know if I want to say too early who I like better just on the accountant solo battle, but two really good quality players leading pretty good quality teams. I know Steel Army's lower than they might have expected to be, but I'm looking to see them charge up the standings. And then immediately following that, like you said, you've got the Rebellion versus El Matador. This is a pretty important match. I don't want to spoil too much on the standings, as I'm sure we'll get there at some point. But if you have a gander, this has a lot of implications going forward in the season. So a lot of points to play for, especially on that one.
I fully agree. That second match in particular has a lot at stake, and we will be telling you about why that is when we get into the league table. You know what? I think that was a good time. Let's jump right to the league table and talk about why both of these matches are important. So, chat, as you can see right here, by the way, welcome on in, Pones. These two matches are very important. So let's start with Timbers Steel Army versus Timbers Army. For Timbers Army, they have to win in order to enter the playoff spot as they enter Week 8. And for Steel Army, every game is must-win for them at this point. Every match, for that matter, is must-win for them. They cannot afford to lose anymore if they want to get into the playoff race. But for Timbers Army, if they win this, they're well and truly in contention. And in all honesty, I think they'll probably be one of the favorites for the top 6. Because, you know, they're starting to get better here. And for Steel Army, they have to win. They have no other choice. They have to win. They won't be out mathematically, but their task will become that much more difficult, right, Og? So Steel Army must win. And for Timbers Army, this is also important. They must win in order to put the pressure on both Emerald City Blue and KC Cauldron.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now. So Steel Army have the fewest matches played. They've played exactly half of their total season so far, and they've got half to go. But if you're doing quick math, they've played half, 7 points. Maybe they get 7 in the second half. I don't think that's going to be enough to put them into the playoffs. So they kind of got to turn it on now. I mean, if they win tonight, that puts them at 11 points and they climb 1 spot. That's brutal. They've got a lot of work to get done. But then switching over to the Timbers, they win tonight. You give them 4 points and suddenly they're in the playoffs and they're kicking the Cauldron out. So I'm liking the Timbers' chances to get into the playoffs, but it's a tough group. You've got ECRC, the locals were undefeated for a while. Rebellion having a really good season. Black Army have a mechanical genius some weeks, and then other weeks kind of fizzles out sometimes. We'll kind of monitor as that goes. El Matador are in the playoffs, and they're rotating squads. So, I mean, we're looking to see Luis and Caesar basically whenever they get a little nervous. But until that point, they're coasting. And then Cauldron, I think, are about to charge up the table in a hurry. So Timbers Army have to kind of win tonight if they want to solidify some chance to get in.
And this match is even more important for them, Toad, because their bye week's not until week 10. If they can rack up as many points as possible until week 10, they can certainly put a lot of pressure on the other teams around them. And speaking of the other teams, let's start highlighting the Rebellion and El Matador. Now, the Rebellion have been terrific, and they are, in all honesty, very close to stealing a spot in the playoffs. Not mathematically, but realistically speaking. For the Rebellion, if they win, you could pretty much say, yeah, they're pretty much in the playoffs. El Matador, though, they have to win in order to have a chance at finishing up in the top 2 seeds and getting that bye into the next round. Yeah, granted, they're 2 points away, but if they drop points to the Rebellion here, you know, they still have to face Emerald City RC coming up, and they also have to face KC Cauldron, 2 teams that are not straightforward matchups for them. So they need to win against the Rebellion in order to keep up with the top 2 and have a chance of finishing there. And for the Rebellion, I could see them starting to coast if they win this match and the next match, because they've been on a roll so far.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I think the Rebellion have a really good squad. I like the way they play. They have a fun style of just... It's kind of another group, almost in the same style as the locals, where the sum is greater than... or the whole is greater than the sum of the individual parts. However the nifty saying goes, they just perform as a unit better than you would expect. So I really like watching the Rebellion. I think it's fun to see them perform. Nice team plays and a solid game plan. I like it a lot.
I agree. I'd say they are, alongside ECRC, the best unit in SGL. Even if they probably don't have the best players on paper, I'd say that ability to play so well as a team puts them a level above most of these teams in SGL this season. Now, Toad, you kind of predicted Steel Army versus Timbers Army earlier, but we did prepare some predictions for the chat. So how about we dive into that right now and show them what we have predicted for all of Week 8?
Yeah.
So yeah, we already predicted a Season 7 matchup. I think you said that Timbers Army will overcome Steel Army. I share that sentiment too. It's not going to be straightforward, but I think it'll be Timbers Army to win. Now for Rebellion versus El Matador, how about we jump into the predictions for Week 8 and highlight that matchup as well? All right, we're back. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. We are doing it live. Toad Death. We yapped for nothing, unfortunately.
There was a lot. I thought it was a good yapping too. I was pretty proud of that yapping.
It was, yes. My bad on that, folks. You would have seen these predictions, all right? And you're wondering how we got these predictions set up. I will show you that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about the matchup the Rebellion versus El Matador, why we have a difference in prediction there, despite being the same everywhere else. So I'm going to start off real quick, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I think they're going to keep a stronger lineup. They're not going to rotate as much. And I see the Rebellion having their toughest test since Emerald City RC in Week 1. I told you know about that all too well.
I sure do, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Rebellion have been tested like they were in Week 1, and I think El Matador is going to give them that kind of a test. So I see El Matador with their stronger lineup compared to the first few weeks of the season, barely eking it out against the Rebellion, winning 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it... I want to give the TLDR version, but I like the way Rebellion plays. I know you do too, but I think a full-strength El Matador squad takes Rebellion. My only thing is I don't think they're going full strength tonight.
And you hinted at something else whilst we were yapping earlier, right?
I hinted at a lot of things. It was like 10 minutes.
No, but the rotation, basically. Because they're gonna rotate.
I think El Matador is going to rotate. They've got a lot of new pieces they brought in. I think their squad's up to like 37 members at the moment. So they're going to have to get those new pieces integrated, and what better chance than the regular season. You don't want to start integrating members when each game is uber important. They still have some leeway right now. So I think rotate tonight, see how it goes. Next week, if they need the points, maybe they put in some more star players and just kind of feel it out and just guarantee to get into the playoffs while rotating as much as possible. I think that's the strategy.
Yeah, and I can see that happening as well because they've brought in so many players that you'd think El Matador want to give him some minutes. So that's pretty reasonable as well. If Luis wants to, he can give us a hint. Or maybe Podes, who, by the way, subscribed with his Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you very much, Podes, for that. Really appreciate it. Hey, how you doing, Vexamed? Thank you for joining in. You just got in right on time. So, Luis, if you want to indulge in, if you want to indulge us with some insider info, you can go ahead and do that. As for the rest of the predictions, we're pretty much in line with them. And as we go through Week 8, folks, we will be highlighting this with not just Mine's and Toad Death's predictions, but maybe predictions from a few other people. I will showcase what they look like for a bunch of different people throughout this week in our streams, and even in Discord. So, Toad, I showed you how you can get involved in this. I'm now going to tell the chat how they can get involved in this. And as you can say, Toad, was it that hard for you to get involved in setting up these predictions?
No, it was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Exactly. So, if you want to get involved in this, folks, I will be dropping a link into this Twitch chat, and let me do that right now before I forget, because I don't want to forget about that. I want to make sure this is the correct link as well. It is. Okay, good. All right. Here's the long link to the prediction sheet, and here's what it looks like. And I won't take too long on this because I know we don't have that much more time until the match. But as you can see right here, folks, you have a few sheets at the bottom where you can make your predictions. And each week is separated, and they remain as well. So you can look back at your historical predictions. All right, so this is more of like a pilot, a test run of sorts. Next season, we'll have it fully fleshed out. This season, we want to try it out to see how you guys, engage with this, what you guys think, and so we could take your feedback as well for next season and beyond. But
yeah, I mean, you heard it. Season 9's confirmed. Let's go.
Hey, we never said we're gonna stop this. Yeah, little teaser right there for y'all. But yeah, first things first, folks. If you want to make your own predictions, you have to make a copy of this file because this file is read only, as you can see right here. It's view only. If you want to put your predictions in, go here, make a copy. I can't because I'm not signed in. That's why, if you're wondering why this is looking like this, I'm not signed in. But if you're signed into your Google Drive account, make a copy, and then put your predictions in. All right. So if you go into Week 8. You can go in here and put your scores right here. Again, view only, so I can't really show it to you right now. And then for Week 9, you can do the same thing. Weeks 10 and 11 as well. And then for the playoffs, we will be adding more sheets. All right? And we'll be providing an updated file with the playoff matchups. Okay? Now, if you want to see how I put my predictions in, let me see if I can show this off. Give me 1 sec. Let me pull up my own predictions. Or actually, no, better yet, let me create an empty file and then show that to you guys.
And so do we take a screenshot or a link or both? What's the
So,
best way to get these ones in?
If you want to share this with us, guys, your best bet would be to take a screenshot and then put it into the Discord chat. And if you put that screenshot in, we can feature it on the stream. All right, so if you want to feature your predictions on stream, we could do that. And we could also use this to basically see who makes the most correct predictions, both in terms of scoreline and the winners picked. So we have 2 different predictions that we could go off of here. Give me 1 sec. Let me just go to the version that I could. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. So this is empty. I could type stuff right here, right? Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 sec. And show this to you guys. So here is the version where I could type stuff in. So as you can see, I could type my scoreline in like this. And if you put in 3 for the winner, that winning team gets highlighted. So, like so. Now, if you try to put in some random characters, it will tell you there's a problem. You have to put in something between 0 and 3. If you put in 40, for example, it will reject that as well. Now, if you try putting in something like 3-3, this is a limitation of the sheet. I cannot put in more than 1 restriction. So just be mindful of this and make sure to put in the correct score lines so that we can take your prediction in as is, properly. But yeah, just drop your score lines in like so. And then do that for future weeks as well. Once you make a copy of the file, of course. So once you make your copy, then fill your predictions in and share a screenshot. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask right now in the chat, and we'll get to you guys later as well if you want to ask in the Discord or through some other means. Vexamed in chat asks, who's playing right now? Perfect timing, because we're going to showcase the 2 matches that we have lined up tonight. So, Vex, the first matchup, which will kick off in less than a minute, is Steel Army versus Timbers Army. And then the second matchup right after that is the Rebellion versus El Matador. Right. So, you highlighted Rydog and Debit, Toad. Are there some other players who you think can make a difference here?
I mean, I do. Let me just refresh my memory on who the rest of those players even are. Let me just hang on. All I know is Debit. Oh, yeah. Bear Blitz. Oh, my gosh. Bear Blitz, Red 4, and Raisin Poop, as he's affectionately named. Those are the ones who I think have been playing so far this season. I haven't heard from Syl. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen him get much game time.
No, Syl is not playing at all this season. They basically have 4 players playing. Red 4, Bear Blitz, and Debit, the 3 brothers, and then Raisin Boy.
They're brothers?
Yeah, Red 4, Bear Blitz, and Debit are all brothers.
No way. That's crazy. Okay. I did not know that. You learned something new. And then switching over, you've got Timbers Army. You got Rydog, of course. I'm going to take Nelly as my next important player for Timbers Army. If Rydog's on, I think he can carry the team. But I don't know what's going on. It feels like he's taken a step back maybe from last season where he was... I mean, he was a 50-50 wizard. He always had the ball going the right way. This season's not going his way so far. I'm probably expecting him to turn it around later. We've got Nelly and Piglet, who both pick up the slack so far this season. So I'm looking to those 3 primarily on the Timber side of things.
Yeah, and it's a good thing you highlighted Nelly as well, because Nelly, I feel like, can be a huge difference maker alongside Bear Blitz. Those 2 are the players who basically make the difference when the best players in Rydog and Debit get locked out or are in a headstrong battle against each other. It will be up to those 2 to make the difference here. And in all honesty, that's why this match is very tough for me to call. Now, I did say Timbers Army will win, but I think that this will go all the way. Game 5, OT, maybe 2 OTs. So, I don't know. It won't be so... It's not a straightforward prediction for me.
No,
in all
not
honesty.
at all. Not at all. Yeah.
So
I think I like Devitt. He's a very pragmatic player. I was just getting here quickly. I think what he offers on offense is good, but what he offers on defense is really good. So if he can hold down the fort and let his teammates get the work done, and if they convert, I like their chances too. But I do think the supporting cast is a little bit stronger coming out of Timbers, and it gives Rydog more freedom to go up and down the field. He's not locked in defense. Like you might find Devitt is sometimes. I won't put a definitive statement on that, but you find Rydog kind of flying up and down the field a bit more often. So if he's got the freedom and he's feeling it tonight, yeah, I mean I gotta give it to Rydog.
Yeah, and I agree with that. If Rydog's on, the team becomes way better. They go to the next level. And Vexaman mentioned Rydog was going crazy in scrims. So yeah, fun fact. I think last night. Yeah, it was last night. Rydog, Vexaman, Luis, and a bunch of us other people were coming together to play 3v3 scrims against each other. And Rydog was on his game. Like, the dude was dribbling way better. He was winning his challenges. And he was playing at a much faster pace than I ever saw him play in the past while. So, in all honesty, I think he's coming into form at the right time. So, Steel Army better watch out, and they better hope that both Devitt and Bear Blitz are at the top of their game. Red 4 has gotten better as well, but it's up to Bear Blitz and Devitt to really make the difference here for Steel Army. And if Bear Blitz in particular can dribble the ball out successfully and build up attacks, I think Timbers Army will be in big trouble.
Yeah, I think you got it spot on. I think... I mean, I don't know. It's too close to call. I'm just kind of excited to get into it and start seeing what they've got to, put in front of us today.
Well, now is the perfect time for us to see what they're all about because both teams are in, folks, and they are just about ready to join.
Rydog takes the plunge. First one to join the lobby. Well done, sir.
And as the clock ticks down, in Badfield, here we go. Steel Army versus Timbers Army.
Nelly, again, you're going to find Devitt in defense. Makes the save. And his teammates can't quite come to the rescue. But that was good from Nelly. Take a shot, force Devitt, and then Piglet's there. And Rydog's just kind of twiddling his thumbs in the backfield.
And it was Timbers Army that got the kickoff successful, and for them, once they got the ball going for it, Steel Army dropped back way too quickly, and it allowed Timbers Army to get, in my opinion, a relatively easy shot to kick off this match. 1-0 to Timbers Army. Once again, Timbers Army are just finding it way too easy to come up. Nice challenge from Piglet. Nelly forgoes the ball. Devitt and Bear Blitz both miss. The moment that Steel Army had to bring the ball forward, they fluffed their lines, and now Timbers Army's coming back, trying to apply some pressure again.
Yeah, it was tense. The ball was right there where it could go in at any second. I was just sitting on my words, waiting for a goal to go in, but it just didn't happen. I don't think that's going to come back to bite them. Timbers Army looks pretty composed right now for the moment as they're floating one up to Nelly. Nelly to Rydog. Bear Blitz is in the way.
That pass was so beautiful for me. I'm a huge fan of passing Rocket League, so I was really hoping personally for that ball to go into the back of the net. But good defending from Steel Army to cut off that shot and see that tack off. Now let's see if they can get a goal in their end. But Nelly gets it off the goal line.
Red 4 had to hit the ball on that one. I mean, his last back, I wouldn't recommend challenging there, but if you're going to challenge, you got to get a piece of it, and he does.
An interesting pinch attempt right there between Piglet and what I believe to be Nelly, I think. But they made it work.
The ball cleared, so it was weird.
It was, but it's not over yet. The pressure's still going. Devin shoots, not enough power. Bear blitz to the near post. 1-1, just like that. When you try to absorb and keep the ball out of the back of the net, you cannot do it for too long in Rocket League. You need to get the ball out to the midfield, and you've seen it right here. Bear blitz able to get that shot out, and now it's 1-1 between Steel Army and Timbers Army.
Yeah, I like the placement from Bear Blitz a lot. He recognizes that the middle of the goal is obviously going to be taken away by 2 defenders as Piglet screams in from the ceiling. But he places it near post really nicely and gets his goal. So if he can keep that up, I like Bear a lot.
And you talked about Rydog and getting those challenges at 50s. Rydog once again winning a big 50 right there, and his team are the benefactors. The ball going towards Rydog once again. Let's see if he can play a pass out. Unfortunately, not a good one. But Piglet gets a shot out. Billy with the demo. And Timbers Army get the lead once again.
That's crazy. A little blooper from Rydog, and Bear does not get good clearance. The ball is just, it's a bit of a blooper. It's low. It catches the defense unaware. And of course, one of them's dead. So, I mean, that's going to be hard to save it when you don't exist anymore.
What I really like about that particular play was Piglet saw that Red 4 was jumping high up, so he decided to keep it low, and that's how you read the opposition, folks. Sometimes you got to pay attention to the defenders and not necessarily go for a high dribble play or a lofted shot. Keeping it low sometimes works out as well. Timbers Army keeping up the pressure. Piglet, is that his hat trick? I think that's his hat trick.
Let me grab the stats on that. It is. It's his hat trick so early on. 4 shots, 3 goals. I mean, maybe this one's the weakest of the bunch. I think Red 4's probably got that save. 9.5 times out of 10 probably should be, but not this time.
Terrific from Piglet once again, and folks, we might not have highlighted him that much, but he has really stepped it up, not just with the goals, but in his overall play. His defending's been solid, his 50 game has been good, and in the air, high up, he's looked as comfortable as ever, and that spells big trouble for Steel Army, who are looking for a second and tone death. Oh, I like the idea, but that net was open.
It was open. I think maybe a miscommunication. Somebody's got to call him off, because I don't hate the idea. You got to beat the defender, right? Someone's behind you, sure. But just not this time. If he gets called off, I think it's just a nice and easy goal.
And we're starting to see Steel Army fall into a pattern where when the ball goes into the back line, they just boom it forward or try and boom it into the midfield. They don't have someone in the midfield to get onto the ball. And they've conceded possession way too often. But in this instance, they had a shot. But most of the time, Tone Death, they just seem to give up the ball way too quickly. And Steel Army have been taking advantage of that today in Game 1.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wanted to highlight that play coming for Steel Army. Oh my gosh, Nelly just stings the crossbar. But the previous attack coming for Steel Army actually came from a really nice, solid hit from Devitt. He's such a well-rounded player as he beats the defense off this one, stings the other crossbar. But yeah, I mean, when Devitt's on, he's really, really good, and he can lead his team to a win. But I think he's got to be locked in tonight.
Oh, there's a good chance there, and Red 4 misses. Bear Blitz. What a pass by Bear Blitz. Oh, I feel so bad for him right there. And the
oh my gosh, my head is physically in my hands. How is that not in?
Oh, and speaking of not in,
the Lord's work. Oh no.
Oh, the pain for Steel Army. But Piglet is having a game and a half here, folks. 4 games, 68 miles per hour. On Alan's BangersOnly.com radar gun, and with 20 seconds to go, that has to be Game 1 for Timbers Army.
Yeah, his stat sheet is crazy. He has 4 goals off of 5 shots and no other actions. He's come here to chew gum and score goals, and dang it, he's all out of gum.
Oh my goodness. Watch out, Steel Army. We've talked about Rydog and Nelly, but you cannot discount Piglet at all. With 4 goals, he gets Game 1 for Timbers Army, and in all honesty, when you win Game 1 in this kind of a high-pressure matchup, you're very likely to win the whole match.
Yeah, I mean, I like my prediction now. I think Steel Army is going to play into it. We're probably going to see, we're probably going to see more teamwork coming out of this Steel Army side. But, geez, Louise, I mean, Timbers Army starting off hot. I don't. it's going to take a big effort from Steel Army, or maybe just a down game from Timbers, but I think their mentals are off the charts right now. So Steel Army's got to make some sort of mental shift, whether it's positive for them or negative for Timbers. But I think Timbers are high right now.
Part of that mentality shift, I feel, needs to be one where they stop dropping back so soon. You know, try and get the boost pads in the middle of the field, get up to 50 boosts, and say, okay, we're going to use this to maintain the pressure on Timbers Army. Because all too often they drop back, and then they look to knock the ball away, and they're stuck. They're not able to get out of their goal. And that's how they've conceded a good few number of chances.
Looks like the lobby is full already for game 2 as we get underway here.
Here we go for a bit of tempo. Steel Army need to get that first goal in order to get back into this match, I feel. But Timbers Army are looking so confident. Look at Nelly looking so comfortable right now.
Oh.
Shaping himself up for a shot. No!
No way!
Sorry, I was wrong. That was Rydog at the start. He looked really good right there. Really comfortable. And now Nelly is in to get the first goal, Toad Death.
Yeah, that's a crazy aerial for Nelly. I mean, I know he's kind of leveled up his skill, but I didn't know he was that good. That was a nice little sweet kiss off the crossbar to go in.
Oh, he's always been capable of that. I think we've seen flashes of that since last season, but you know, he's not been able to show it all the time. But if he can show it here, oh, watch out, SGL. You got a sleeper team at Timbers Army who can cause you a lot of trouble.
A nice docile pass, easily intercepted, and it's a bit of a, okay, interesting counterattack. As Rydog probably would have blocked that shot as well. I don't know what's going on with their attack, but we'll get them next time, guys.
They're a little cavalier right now, but I think it serves to benefit Timbers Army. They're looking for demos in the goal, and that helps Rydog as he had a free open shot in the middle. Now he's involved in the goals with his teammate Nelly. 2-0 to Timbers Army.
Yeah, I mean, Piglet, I think it was harder to miss all the cars. He drove them around them like they were training cones.
Bad. Steel Army, they did not need this kind of start. This is the worst possible start for them. Debit, though.
Debit.
Get one back.
I love that try. I mean, that's the kind of play that maybe can turn the tides, right? Show them that, yeah, you guys have some mechs too.
Oh, they absolutely do, but they just need to start pushing up and being a bit more confident. I hate to say this, they might be missing someone like Raisin Boy who could challenge the ball early and, you know, pin the opposition back with his high aggression, high activity gameplay. But right now they're starting to step it up. All the Steel Army is in the Timbers Army end. Red 4 is in the midfield border. And let's see if they can make this count. Who's ball, though? And now Rydog has an open shot again.
Maybe it was more of a fake, because I don't think Piglet had any hope of really doing anything with that ball. Oh, a good dunk, though. I like that a lot. Bearblitz wants to play it slow out of the back. I think he does well there to beat his man on Nelly.
Red 4 gets a nice first touch, has control. Can he center this off of the backboard? Nelly misses. The ball's kind of loose. Piglet, though, gets in right on time to clear this out. And now Rydog kicks off the counter. Open net with Piglet helping it on. Ball's floating. Debit clears it off to Nelly. Let's see what Nelly can do right here. This does get challenged, but nice challenge back in response. Nelly turns quickly, goes for a shot on goal. Oh my goodness, Timbers Army are on fire right now.
They've got the guys. Piglet floats one in off the bar. It's going to be just out of reach for a really acute angle shot. Bear Blitz, what can he do? It's not great, but Debit's back. He is so solid in defense.
Oh, close right there from Piglet yet again. One of the biggest things I'm seeing here, Toad Death, is they always have one guy who's trying to look to challenge the ball very early. So Nelly a couple of times would just cut for the ball almost immediately. And that would help Timbers Army. What's also helping Timbers Army is...
Oh.
Well, I don't know if that helped, but maybe you can offer some insight on that, Toad.
You know, I don't know if the team bump was the play. I probably would have bumped the blue car, just, you know, FYI.
But even
Oh,
with that-
Piglet, good shot, but I like Bear's defending. I think he's playing okay tonight. He's got more in the tank. Debit's got more in the tank. If those two can get on the same page, I think they've got a shot. And Red 4, I think I want to see more from him if this Steel Army side's gonna really have a fighting chance, at least in this game.
Nice pass right there. Nelly cutting for that shot when Piglet had it. Okay. A little bit of crisscrossing of the wires, I feel. But you know what? Timbers Army look quite comfortable, don't they? I mean, they're just faster to the ball.
Well, let's be honest, they're making a lot of mistakes. A lot of pretty bad mistakes, but they're not being punished for it. And sometimes when they make those mistakes, it's on the attacking side of the ball, which is okay. You're not going to get scored on for the majority of the time. And this game, clearly, 2-0 up.
Oh my goodness, Debit was not set for that shot, but I think that fake played a part. Good pass attempt by Bear, but Rydog reads that. Piglet towards the backboard. Rydog with a huge challenge. The ball just being loose in the middle means Debit can clear it out towards the middle. Can Red 4 make this right on time? He kind of does after Piglet gets the first touch. Bear Blitz keeps up the pressure with less than 20 seconds to go. Steel Army need to go right now. The clock is against them. The ball is cleared into their end, and Tone Death, this might be game 2 for Timbers Army.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it prematurely. This is game. I think it was maybe better from Steel Army. I know Timbers Army made a lot of mistakes in this game. I can only expect they're gonna clean that up in game 3. But if Steel Army plays their cards right, maybe they get a game out of this and build some momentum. But yeah, I don't know. That might be just a bit too optimistic.
I mean, speaking of mistakes, they just kept getting in each other's way. They kept blocking shots. They were bumping each other. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions right here, but what I will say is this. Despite not being at their best, Timbers Army looked very comfortable, and Steel Army, they just, they're not close enough to the ball. They are not keeping it tight. I think what they need to do is just start dribbling it a bit more and not knocking it around as much, because they're not able to get to the ball first before Timbers Army anyways. So if they can dribble the ball out and get a 50, I think they might stand a better chance. What do you think, Toad?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Timbers put it in neutral and are just kind of coasting down the mountain. I think that's probably going to work out for them. I would caution them to maybe put a bit more effort into game 3. I'm thinking Steel Army is going to throw everything out this game, pull out all the stops, go ultra attacking. I think they're going to go demo heavy. So I think Timbers Army might need to just prepare themselves.
And this is game 3. Could this be win 3 for Timbers Army? Can they get that sweep to put themselves into the playoff spot, entering into the first match of week 8 coming up after this? Or will Steel Army get one game and keep themselves in the playoff race?
That's a bad miss. Bear Blitz comes in to clean up the mistake. It doesn't pay off. Debit's looking okay in defense. I don't think that 50 is going to go his way. It's high up above the net. No chance, but Piglet plays a nice ball. It's not possible to get back to. Debit gets drawn out of his own net, and Rydog can slot that one in.
Once again, it is fast-paced Rocket League from Timbers Army. Not necessarily precise, but they don't need precision up until the very end. Beautiful pass by Piglet to Rydog, and Rydog with a powerful finish. Just too strong for Bear Blitz to deal with. 1-0 to Timbers Army yet again. I don't think Steel Army have taken a lead at any point, have they? Wait, they haven't even scored a goal, have they?
Have they scored a goal?
I don't remember them scoring a goal. Chat, you can correct us on that.
I mean, that's I don't know. They've got to be able to get a goal here. Red 4 over to Bear Blitz. Come on, this is the one. Corner pocket. He misses wide, but that's good technique.
Yeah, much better. But once again, Rydog just brings it out way too easily. And he's just allowed to bring it up to the opposite end with no engagement. But nice from Debit right there. Goes for an early shot instead of trying to slow it down. That's fine. At least he put some pressure on Timbers Army. And now they're pinned back. Can Steel Army keep it in the opposite end. They failed to do
Yeah.
so far, but the ball's back to their possession.
Oh, maybe a free goal here. Plays it off the wall. I don't know if that was the plan or if he just didn't have the angle anymore.
I'm totally surprised by that. I thought he had the angle, but maybe he just didn't feel like he could get ahead of the ball. But that was
It's
the best
high.
chance.
Nelly's putting it down. He almost recreated his goal from earlier.
Another great save from Bear Blitz to Steel Army.
Great
now,
pass.
Devitt with a beautiful pass, I totally agree, but they just don't have anyone in the middle to engage with the shot. And once again, Bear Blitz is kind of hanging back. He now comes up and gets beaten by Nelly. Nice there from Devitt. Getting that first touch, bringing out Rydog.
That's a great turn, great pass. Devitt coming down from the sky. Just don't connect. But more of that, and they're kind of... I like their chances if they can keep making those chances.
But we have already entered the second half here. Rydog and Timbers Army are still leading. Steel Army have yet to score. Timbers Army can get a second right now. Nelly with a weak shot. Rydog trying to interfere. Does so, I guess, successfully enough because, you know, Steel Army didn't get a touch, but now they're bringing it out the other end. And Piglet with a big demo to disrupt Steel Army.
Yeah, I mean, Rydog saves his own team shot, but was that always going to be saved anyway? Probably. So,
Yeah.
in the end, maybe he's preventing an instant counter. I don't hate the idea. They had a chance of working, and what's, you know, worst case scenario, they just don't get countered. So, I'll call that one alright.
And one thing I want to highlight here, Toad, is the first touches from Steel Army now are soft touches to make sure they keep the ball and they start off with a dribble. Much better from them. They're now maintaining some pressure. Good save from Rydog. Let's see if they can get the equalizer.
It's not a great hit. He's got it, though, in the corner. Can he slip it in there? Maybe the first goal for their team. I don't know.
And the goal comes in at the best possible time for Steel Army. 88 seconds to go. The equalizer is in. Can they follow that up with a potential game winner?
Devitt's playing smart, and he always does, but he's holding down his defense. He's getting in on the attack, working it through the midfield. When he has time, he slows the game down, but Piglet sneaks it in near post.
And I hate to say this, Toad Death, but Steel Army once again fell back way too early. They got boost starved, and Bear Blitz, as much as he tried to save it off the goal line, that shot was way too strong from Piglet, the sharp shooter for tonight. And just like that, they came back and they got the lead yet again.
Yeah, I mean, Timbers Army, it looks like the bully just taking the nerds' lunch money right now. This is crazy. Especially because it's accountant on accountant action.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is going in.
Thor digs it out. What a save.
The save made better by the fact that the shot may not have been powerful, but look at that back pass. Right on with the control, just unfortunately not able to see it off. Good defending from Timbers Army, excuse me.
There's a lot of armies out there.
Yes, true.
Is there 4 now?
3 still. Steel Army, Timbers Army, and Black Army.
Oh.
But you know what we're going to have 3 of? We might have a third goal here from Timbers Army coming up very soon. Nelly and Red 4 sees it off.
Hope alive. Get in there early. He gets beaten. 13 seconds. Clock is still ticking. I mean, it's got to be now.
Now or never. But Piglet keeps up the pressure. That touch is probably not good enough. 1 second to go. Can Steel Army keep this up? They are so far. Good pressure from Nelly. Piglet centering it into the middle. The ball's still up. At the mercy of Timbers Army. And Devitt, unfortunately, cannot keep it up. Timbers Army sweep Steel Army and get a huge win in their playoff race.
Yeah, I liked the effort from Steel Army in the last game. They kept getting that score line creeping closer to more favorable for their side. I mean, it didn't happen in the end. I would almost say if this goes to 7, they have a chance, but I don't know. I think Timbers Army looked really solid, and I don't think they were trying their hardest, to be honest. I think they were kind of using this as a training exercise just to hang out.
I mean, that's one way to put it. I mean, given how they played, sure. I also like to think that they were just trying to outspeed Steel Army, and they did so successfully, but it also meant that we saw a few moments of sloppiness. They just were not punished for it, and they got away with it. But, you know, it didn't matter at the end of the day, because they swept Steel Army, and they got a big result in the playoff race. Now, we are going to be jumping very soon into Rebellion versus El Matador, folks. Give me a sec to update the league table and all. Toad Death, how about you, you know, provide your insight into the upcoming matchup between the Rebellion and El Matador?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it probably about half an hour ago now, but we've got Rebellion, who we already talked about how they play an interesting style of team Rocket League. All right, it's not a team of individuals, and if you were to look, if you were to line up teams on a scale of individual play, flair, style, and on the opposite side of this scale, you've got team plays, unity, solid rotations, kind of good quality challenges, good quality clearances. You're going to find Rebellion on that good quality team play scale side, and you're probably going to find El Matador on that individualistic, kind of showboaty but clip style, where you've got talent oozing out of every pore. And now with all the additions, you might even see a bit more unity. But I'm not really sure what to expect from this one. It kind of all is all down to who's actually playing tonight for El Matador. It's going to be the usual suspects for the Rebellion, who have come to know and love, or loathe if they've got your number. But we've got, I think, 4 main new guys from EM that are probably going to rotate in. You've got Luis waiting in the wings. You've got Caesar waiting for probably postseason at this point. And I don't even know where Kuv is, but he's in chat probably.
Well, I've yet to see him in chat, you know, but we'll see when he comes in. Regarding how El Matador can potentially play, I do want to say real quick that they have been scrimming together a whole lot more. They've been you know, practicing a whole lot more. Even within the SGL community, like, we've had a bunch of scrims where they've teamed up together. And I will say they are starting to look better. They're starting to become a more cohesive unit. So we shall see if that can translate into an SGL match against the Rebellion. But I wouldn't dismiss their cohesion at this time, because maybe I have a bit more of an insider look to it all, but they play way better than they did before their reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, you would probably expect them to as well. The quality that they picked up, I think they're all in that champ range, mid, sometimes high champs. So these are players who know what they're doing, know how to rotate well. At that rank, people have kind of learned how to let your better players take over and provide a supporting role when needed. And I think that's probably what we're going to expect in the postseason. As for tonight, I don't know. I'm still pretty uncertain. I don't think Luis is going to play. I don't think Caesar's going to play. And I really do think Rebellion are the better chemistry-oriented team.
Yeah, I agree. Like, based off of the evidence, the Rebellion are one of the most cohesive teams in SGL, if not the most cohesive. And El Matador still have a way to go. But El Matador also have 2 of the best SGL players in Luis and Caesar. We'll see if both feature. Even if one of them feature, I think they can test the Rebellion. But, yeah, I feel like this is a close matchup. If you saw the predictions earlier, folks, I predicted El Matador winning 3-2. Toad Death predicted the Rebellion winning 3-1. So we'll see how it goes when both teams enter the lobby very soon. We are going to start very soon. Kickoff should be right about now when both teams join in. Luis coming into chat saying, "Hi, chat. Welcome back, Luis." I don't know if you dropped back or anything, but hopefully you guys are ready to go soon.
Yeah, Luis, fill us in on your team's tactics. How are they gonna set up tonight? Are we going offensive? Are we going demo heavy? Are you gonna make an appearance? I need to know.
Speaking of appearances, I didn't see any of the Rebellion guys in chat yet. Maybe they're practicing, for the upcoming matchup. But I would have expected to have seen them in the chat at some point.
Some teams have like a stream blacklist on the nights they're playing. This is like, do not turn on the stream, do not chat. If you're not locked in game ready, then you're a liability. So I don't know how seriously they take it. I find some joy in watching people praise me, and then if I'm not doing very well, you got to close the stream really quick. Like, okay, close it before the chats start coming in. But yeah, I mean, this is a confidence game. All right, if you're playing well, you get more confident.
I totally agree with that, for sure. Still waiting for both teams to join in. We see one of them in. El Matador is in. No subs for them, from what I can see. We'll see if the Rebellion can join us very soon.
Yeah, from what it looks like, so far we're probably gonna see Luis feature tonight, which I'm definitely excited. I don't believe he's played with any of these guys outside of their first week.
Yeah, against the locals.
Yeah, and that was a heavily rotated side. There were a bunch of players coming in and out, so that one's a bit hard to try to figure out. What's good information, what's bad information. So, Ponzi, Kiwi, Luis, I like all of these guys a lot. I don't think there's really any glaring weaknesses here. You can't say that they're overly aggressive, or you couldn't say that they're overly individualistic. I think this is a solid 3 even before Caesar.
Absolutely agreed. And depending on how the Rebellion will line up, they may not need Caesar to play with Luis. So whilst we wait for the Rebellion to be fully ready, how about we dive in to take a look at the league table with the result from Steel Army versus Timbers Army put in. Let's see what that looks like real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with Timbers Army winning and sweeping Steel Army, basically, they are now in 6th place, 3 points ahead of both KC Cauldron and Emerald City Blue, and that win came at a perfect time for them. They need to apply that pressure on both KC Cauldron and EC Blue, and they're opening up a lead now, between themselves and the bottom 2 teams. The gap is now up to 9 points, and for Steel Army, that sweep was huge. They needed to get a couple of points at the very least. Getting swept like that hurts their prospects big time.
Yeah, I mean, if there are still any Timbers Army here in chat, you're probably going to be rooting for Rebellion tonight. El Matador, they look good after they got the new acquisitions. If by some miracle you can just boot them out and just keep them out of the playoffs, I think the whole rest of the pack, everybody who makes it in the playoffs, is going to breathe a little bit easier. So I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't bet against El Matador, that's for sure. But if you're a team in the playoffs, you're probably rooting against them because they look incredibly strong.
Yeah, I'd say so as well. And the higher Timbers Army can go up, the better their prospects look in the playoffs. So just to quickly recap the format, the first 2 in the table get a bye to the second round, and 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th play in the first round. If you're the higher seed, you get a home advantage in your matchup. So, Timbers Army can go up higher in the table. They have a better chance of getting the home matchup, and they can play in their preferred region.
Yeah, and you've got Debit in chat throwing out stinky accusations, and they're leveled toward Luis. That's rough, and I'm just gonna invoke the sacred rule of whoever smelt it. So I don't really know. I don't really know if Debit is familiar with those sacred rules, but I know me and mine are.
Folks, here we go. Game 1 kicks off between the Rebellion and El Matador. As you can see with the Rebellion, Pipe Shot Gogan is getting his start. And Rebellion almost had a first goal, but now they need to watch out on the counter-toe net because that is an open net. Ball rolling through to the opposite side. No one from EM's going to be able to take advantage of that. And already both teams had good shots, but just weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, that was a great pass from Luis. It's got speed on it, and that is the kind of pass that only works with really solid communication, because there's no way you're going to be able to guess when that ball is going to come fizzing across the goal line.
Speaking of fizzing, Kiwi with a powerful hit of the ball off the backboard, but was not able to get a second touch off that big bump though. Posey flicks it into the middle. Luis trying to get a nice tap into the net, but he's just not able to get any contact. Luis comes back, tries to get a second shot, not much power though, and Kiwi keeps up the pressure for El Matador.
Yeah, we're starting to see some team plays out of El Matador. That's really good to see. Ponzi's last back handles it so calmly.
And the Rebellion, you know, I thought they would have the full strength lineup here, but they're fielding Pipe Shot Gogan today with Triple C and Shorts. Polar has been one of their biggest players this season, coming up big in so many occasions. But even without Polar, do you think the Rebellion should be good enough to see off El Matador here?
No, I'll be honest. I like Polar a lot. I've been watching his stats every week. He's one of those players who actually has played under 2 usernames. And so I always combine his stats manually, so I get an extra good look. And I like him as a player. I think what he brings to a team is so good and so critical, and I can't believe it's taken me until just now to figure out that he's missing. So, no, I don't like the Rebellion's chances anymore.
But so far, they've looked solid. Pipe Shot Gogan getting a touch, getting the ball centered. Does not get the second touch, but the Rebellion have had a few decent moments. They've been able to get into El Matador's end of the field. Now they need to defend, though. Luis with a shot into the open net, and he gets the lead for El Matador.
Yeah, the ball's played so dangerously over their own, attacking zone. And then Luis just turns a scramble defense play into immediate offense so casually.
Yeah, that was, I'd say, a bit too easy, and I think part of that was because the Rebellion double committed at the back. Their third was nowhere, and Shorts did not have the boost to get back-towed, and that's how you get punished in SGL.
Yeah, I bet Polar would have had it. I'm just kidding, guys. Or am I?
It's not over yet for the Rebellion. They got to defend this, but Kiwi's touch, probably accidental, meant that the ball goes all the way back. Luis still has control with little boost, tries to dribble it out to the midfield. And now the ball is in the Rebellion's half of the field. Can they get this out? Can they get this towards the opposite end? They cannot. Posey keeps up the pressure. Shorts with a rough touch. Luis with a touch towards his teammate. But Triple C comes in big with a massive save.
Yeah, that was so good from Triple C. I love to see that. He's in a scramble defense play. There's several players who could hit the ball. You kind of got to guess the right angle, and he gets it spot on.
Oh, this is way too much time for El Matador to get a shot off. So good challenge on Posey. He cannot get a clean shot from there. Luis trying to go into the back of the net. Now Kiwi, but Pipe Shot Gogan gets it out, and it's still 1-0 with less than 90 seconds to go.
That was so good from Pipe Shot. I mean, he's coming across the goal, and he has to get a touch there. And I mean, it's not easy. Okay, you're kind of coming off your own goal line. You need to get a proper touch, a good clearance, and he gets it. So props toward him. He's again on the ball, doesn't quite get the boost. He's probably gonna have a tough time taking on Luis, but I think he's been holding his own pretty well here.
He absolutely has. He's impressed me, in all honesty, with his supporting play. But they need someone to just take them to the next level. They truly are missing Polar in that sense. And one thing I'm also noticing is they tend to just overshoot the ball on quite a few occasions. That they need to rush back and hope that they can get back on time. And that will spell trouble for them if they are not careful. Like right here, slow play attempt. Luis bounced the ball off the corner. Kiwi with a shot attempt, but it's too weak.
I like the clearance coming out of Pipe Shot here as he gets bumped for his trouble. I don't know who that was. Oh, the ball's floated right over the goal. Luis maybe fakes it. I'm actually not sure. I would have expected him to play a touch out of there, but it works in his favor.
That was absolutely a fake, and it worked out as Pipe Shot Gogan was not ready for that. 1 second to go. The ball is floating in front of the El Matador net. Triple C needs a touch. Gets enough. Luis going for a psycho attempt, but he does not get a clean touch off the backboard. Triple C keeps up the pressure. Shorts cannot get the touch. The ball's going to the opposite end. Hits the ground. And El Matador see off the Rebellion in a close game 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cagey game. Only 1 goal coming after 5 minutes of pretty good high-octane play here. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I picked Rebellion before I knew that we're missing Polar, and then, you know, maybe I was too harsh. I think I was too harsh, because Pipe Shot is surprising. He's impressing me tonight. I think if he can continue this way and Shorts and Triple C can adapt to, I think, albeit a skillfully superior El Matador, if they can adapt and get some of that team unity back, they're going to take some points. Whether they're going to take the series, I don't know.
I will say this. El Matador is there for the taking for the Rebellion. If they could clean up their game, if they could clean up the rotations, I think they could pin back El Matador and probably get a win or 2. Maybe see the whole match off. And Debit says it in here in the chat, Rebellion got some defensive stalwarts, just need the offensive touch. And I agree. They just need that offensive touch for sure.
I mean, I think so, but it's quite an effort, right? Luis, just because he's so good at scoring goals, that's kind of what he's known for. He's no slacker on defense. He will absolutely shut you down if he needs to.
Interesting fake kickoff play right there, but Luis gets demoed for his trouble. Posey floated the ball up, see if Luis can come back. She kind of does, but Gogan gets the first touch, and Posey clears it off to Luis, who kicks off the counterattack.
What a stuff by Pipe Shot there.
Really, he is proving all doubters wrong right here. Really turning up big for the Rebellion. They may not have Polar's mechanics, but they do have the grit and the defensive reliability and solidity from Gogan.
Yeah, they don't have a boost advantage, though. That's for sure. They are starved back there.
But they still keep the ball out of the back of the net off of a big save against Kiwi's shot, and now they kick off the counterattack. Gogan trying to go to the backboard. Kiwi soft touch. The ball goes wide to Luis, who picks up the 100 boost. Now he dribbles it off to the opposite corner. Pitches it off the corner on the left. Not much off of that attack, though, and the Rebellion are coming back to apply some pressure. But Gogan misses his shot, and it's in those moments, Toad, where you need to make the most of your chances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's got to be a goal, but, man, you got to put it on frame. You got to make him work for it at least.
And they definitely are making El Matador work whenever El Matador bring the ball forward. You saw Shorts there get a couple of bumps and maybe a third bump attempt on him as well. On Luis, that is. So they're definitely making El Matador work for their goals. But El Matador are looking the better side here so far.
Pipe Shot with what ended up being a fake kind of works as Shorts takes control. Triple C with a clanger hits it almost too hard and it skims off the roof, and Luis is taking it back the other way. If there's one player you definitely don't want the ball to just to float off to, it's going to be Luis. You try your best to limit any touches he can get, but if he just finds himself on the ball for free, you're probably going to find yourself in trouble.
Uh-oh. Oh my goodness, I thought that ball was going to go in.
Oh no.
And there it is. The El Matador contingent in the chat are going wild, I'm sure. Proudy, Stonewall, Frabsa, and then your daddy is here. That's the name of Twitch chat, Toad.
Okay.
They're celebrating that. El Matador take the lead, courtesy of Luis, 1-0 in Game 2.
I mean, I won't say it's not deserved. Yeah, I mean, El Matador's playing a solid game. At any moment, they can get a goal. So that's just the style of play that they have. This is not a, you know, the flow of the game, the possession matters kind of a team. They have a lightning quick counterattack. You just got to be ready for it.
And Toad, that presents an interesting conundrum for the Rebellion. Can you say they need to change anything right here, or do you think they just need to keep going with what they have and hope that a chance comes off for them?
Well, I mean, I think Devitt called it out. They need goals. I do believe they're still goalless. I lose count so fast these days, but after 1.5 games, I don't think they found themselves with a goal to their name at all.
I definitely agree with that, but they have been creating some good chances. It's just right now they're in a lot of trouble. Luis! Oh my goodness, Toad! What a goal!
Ugh, I need a shower. Ugh, filthy.
Goodness gracious! He uses up all his boost, gets an interesting musty attempt right there, and he gets it in shorts. And the in-game chat saying, "I call foul play." I don't know about foul play, but that shot was definitely filthy. And Luis pop it off just in time. 2-0 to El Matador.
Jeez, I mean, the Musty worked. I don't even know how useful Musty is. It's kind of just a showboating tool. Sometimes it's got its role, but for crying out loud, Luis is going for a flip reset here. I think they're changing gears. They're changing approach. Instead of playing that solid style of Rocket League, I think they're going for some clips now.
I don't know if you should be going for clips. 2-0 down. Stonewall C showing some support for his Rebellion brethren. Shake it off Shorts, he's saying. Try to encourage Shorts to get back into it. And with a minute to go, the Rebellion still have time, but El Matador on a roll. Oh, Luis again, very close. Kiwi now pitches it off the corner. That ball lofts to the opposite side. Luis once again back at it. Going for
my.
Goodness gracious, he gets away. Oh my goodness, how'd that not go in? Oh, I didn't catch
He's got the
that.
chain dashes down. So easy for him now. It honestly helped him recover and make that save look easy, as Ponzi makes an outplay look easy himself.
Ponzi with the old college shot, waiting for that ball to bounce. Try to get some power. A little too late in his timing, but the execution was still good as he caught the Rebellion keeper off guard. 3-0 and a huge Game 2 win for El Matador.
It's looking casual. Shorts takes the shot. Pipe shot. Gogan's going to want that one back. In the end, that's an open net miss. There's some pressure. I understand it, but that's got to be put away.
Oh my goodness, the ball's in front of the EM. The Rebellion net. EM, how do you not get that in for a fourth? Not really mattering though, because they wasted enough time right there. And at this point for the Rebellion, they need one game. They can't get swept right here. Not for their top 2 chances.
Oh, let's go, Shorts! For their first goal of the series, Shorts gets it. Okay, what is this? An aerial dunk pre-flip? That's insane!
It really is insane. And you know what, Toad? I hope that gives the Rebellion all the confidence that they need, because that was a sweet freaking goal. That's for sure.
I mean, if that doesn't sway some confidence, I don't know what will. That goal was great. I mean, it's not gonna necessarily compare to Luis's goal, but I don't think you want to compare to Luis. That's probably not a winning mentality strategy for any player in this league.
Oh, absolutely. You don't need to compare to Luis, but what you want to do is compare your team to El Matador. And right now, I hate to say this for the Rebellion, but El Matador are looking so much better. When Luis pops off, his team pops off. We saw Ponzi get involved in the goals. We saw Kiwi get more confident. This is going to be troublesome for them.
Yeah, Luis getting over 600 points in this one. He's got top of the chart saves, top of the chart goals, top of the chart shots, and he is second in assists. This is a complete performance coming from Luis. And if he can get another one of these in this game 3, they're just coasting at this point.
But we'll see if they can coast, because the Rebellion have been able to bounce back, Toad. They have it in them. This game 3 might be it as we kick off very soon. I do want to highlight a few messages in chat real quick. We see another supporter of one of the Rebellion guys here, Jube WFC. Attaboy Shorts, but unfortunately for Shorts and the Rebellion, this is the worst possible start they could muster up. Triple C getting dunked by Ponzi, who gets his second goal of this match.
Yeah, I think it's just a misread. He plays it high, and he tries to correct, and then Ponzi just has the perfect angle on that dunk. It was like he just knew what was going to happen, a little premonition coming out. But that's just a nightmare start if you're a Rebellion fan.
Yeah, just terribly unfortunate for them. They just lose the kickoff, and El Matador come out strong, and once again, they're trying their hardest. The Rebellion hold on for now, but El Matador are cooking. Posey with a shot attempt. Shorts gets it off with his green octane. Can he do something right here with a nice dribble attempt? Beats Kiwi, but Luis is back yet again. I told you, highlighted this too. Luis may be known for his offensive firepower, but defensively, he is very tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, there really aren't necessarily positions in this game we call Rocket League, so once you get to Luis's level, you've got to be a complete player, well-rounded, and he's definitely specced some points into mechanics for sure, but he's no slouch on defense. He's such a solid player in all facets here. As Shorts and Triple C collide in defense, it's not really going to matter too much, though, as the man, the myth, the legend, Pipe Shot Gogan tries to clear it out of defense here.
Once again, some nice passing in the midfield, but a weak shot attempt from Gogan means to give up the ball relatively easily to El Matador. This is the chance for them to pin El Matador back now. All three at the back of the net, at the back near the net. Ball's in the midfield. Can the Rebellion keep up the pressure? So far, El Matador has an answer for it. Now Luis on the counter, just unable to get to that. El Matador just looking very comfortable right now.
Yeah, Luis demoed a player in defense there to get that play going and just misses an aerial attack, which I think most of the time he's getting a little bit tricky here. I don't think it's going to come back to bite him. Since oh my gosh, the shot from midfield is going to miss and Luis is just there. He's too mechy to be stopped.
I hate to say this, but the Rebellion need to regroup after this goal. Triple C tried to cut for that ball. He already had a teammate coming up. I believe that was Gogan coming up for that ball. And they both just couldn't deal with that. The ball played out to Posey, who had an open and easy shot. And it's 2-0 to El Matador. We're not into the second half yet, but this is big trouble for El Matador. Sorry, for the Rebellion. El Matador looking really assertive and confident right now. After the loss against EC Blue, this is exactly the response they needed. And for the Rebellion, they surely are missing Polar right now, aren't they?
Yeah, as Shorts comes up with a fat nothing. As Ponzi plays it up the wall, doesn't quite get the touch he wants. But does it really matter? I mean, they've got such intense pressure, it doesn't look likely that they're even going to concede this game.
And a nice shot from Kiwi right there. Making sure that El Matador get as many goals as possible just so they can ensure the sweep. No one at the back post for the Rebellion. Kind of a surprise, leaving Shorts to deal with a lot right there. Oh, man, just unfortunate for them right now. But
yeah, you've got a complete shift coming out of El Matador. Everyone's getting involved. And I'm gonna highlight someone in chat. Your daddy is here, is putting in a shift in chat right now. If you're not watching the game, you need to at least be reading chat right now. He's popping off.
No doubt about it. And Kiwi's also popping off, but the ball rolls off the post and the crossbar. Jesse G coming in to show support for Kiwi as well, but unfortunately for Kiwi, he just cannot get that shot into the net. And Kiwi clears it off. Triple C has enough in his tank to clear that up and allow his teammates to regroup, but with 90 seconds to go, it's now or never for the Rebellion. They need a goal stat. They have no more time to waste now.
Yeah, this game 3, it's looking like an execution. It is one-way traffic. It's just, is it guillotine? Is it beheading? What are we doing today?
Oh my goodness. Whatever it is, it's a proper bludgeoning right now. Their backboard got batted up hard. And eventually one shot goes into the back of the net. Toe death. Game, set, match, surely.
Yeah, it's your classic death by 1,000 beheadings.
Well said, in all honesty, because this does feel like 1,000 beheadings at this point for the Rebellion, unfortunately. Oh, man, against a team like El Matador when they have Luis popping off and two good supporting players in Kiwi and Posey. This is not good.
Oh no,
And Luis keeps piling on the misery. Oh man.
We got a Marie Antoinette in comments calling out beheadings and guillotines as the same thing, okay? How was I supposed to know, all right?
Your daddy is here calling out the rebellion. They need to rebel against whoever name they ask, bruh. Slow down, bro. Oh my goodness, it just keeps going on and on. Oh, you hate to see this, chat.
I'm ready to skip the replays. Holy cow.
Oh no. Two Rebellion players coming up, ball chasing, nowhere near that. Luis looking comfortable off the ceiling. Oh man, this might go up to 7 potentially. If the Rebellion are not careful.
Yeah, I'm predicting only one post-game interview. I don't know about you.
I don't know, we might still get 2 depending on who comes up, but this might be the chance of the Rebellion. Can they get a goal finally? They've yet to score in this matchup, but they still cannot create a solid chance. Now Luis going on out to the other end. Oh my goodness, they need a break. They need a lucky break, Rebellion. But El Matador don't need anything. They're just getting everything their way right now, folks. Oh, this is terrible for the Rebellion.
Yeah, this is one-way traffic. Last game, they at least got a nice spirit goal at the end. There is no such spirit, no such goal at all coming, I don't think.
Oh, I
Luis
forgot
trying to make it 7. He's gonna make it 7.
Oh, no,
And we
I
have
feel
to
like...
watch it kick off.
Oh, my God. Toad, I think we're being set up right now. I don't know about you, but I think we're being set up.
Oh, my gosh. What are the chances they let him take it in for the Brazil?
We'll see. Here it comes.
I think they did.
Oh, no. I don't think Gogan got the hit potentially, but it's over, folks. El Matador, after a disappointing 3-1 loss against Emerald City Blue, have swept the Rebellion, and that is 2 sweeps in our doubleheader, Toad Death. Oh, man. This has been absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so, so the first matchup, right, I was thinking, I know Rebellion and El Matador are going to be way closer, so I had that, to hold on to. No, the answer was a resounding no. We needed Polar. Polar, where are you? Put up the Polar signal. Holy cow, this was not the unit we were used to seeing. And this was also not the individualistic play from El Matador that I'm used to seeing. This was a well-oiled machine. They were setting each other up, putting in passes. It wasn't just a bunch of team plays one after another. Or sorry, individual plays. It was team plays one after another.
I fully agree. And you know what? Against a team like that with, a lineup that isn't their strongest, I think this match came at a perfect time for them. They learned their lessons from last week. They kept the strongest lineup possible. They decided not to rotate in any which way, and they came out deserved 3-0 winners. Yeah,
there was not really any rotation at all, and it absolutely paid off for them. I pity the team who has to play them next week.
Well, we'll see who they play next week. Are you talking about the Rebellion, by the way?
I'm thinking of El Matador. They're playing Steel Army. Oh no. Did it.
No.
Just log out. Go to bed. I didn't say anything. Just get out of here.
Oh, man. Well, on that note, folks, I think it's time we set up for an interview as well and get the thoughts of, the teams that played today. I'm not sure if we'll get any interview from any of the Timbers Army or Steel Army players, but we'll definitely get an interview from an El Matador player at a bare minimum. That's for sure.
Debit is saying he plays EC Defiance in Week 9. Is this true?
Check the fixtures again, Debit.
I'm pretty sure we've got Steel Army and El Matador in Week 9. If this is Week 8, my counting's not amazing, but I can still get from 8 to 9 pretty, most of the time.
We went to Week 9 for El Matador, yeah, you guys are playing Defiance in week 8 this week, but next week, you guys are playing El Matador. Yeah. Hey,
I mean,
understand.
they do have a few games to catch up on.
I get it. I
So-
get it. Oh my goodness, Toad. Were you really seeing a sweep though for El Matador right here? Despite
No, I had
Kobe.
Rebellion winning. I did not see a sweep coming at all. And okay, so if I had known Luis would be playing, I think I probably would have called 3-1, right? Because I really like Rebellion. I like what they've got. And then if I knew that Polar wasn't going to be playing, yeah, I'm calling a sweep. Polar is their most important player, and Luis is El Matador's most important player. So that's a pretty important swing.
Yeah, I fully agree. And it made a big difference at the end of the day. I think El Matador not having to rotate their team helped as well because they were able to build up that cohesion and look so much better in games 2 and 3. Like, tons better.
Yeah, I want to shout out that one goal. The one goal from Rebellion, I think it was coming from shorts. We had a nice little off the sidewall pre-flip dunk right there, good at 0. I love to see it. I thought that was going to be a momentum builder, and it was. It really was. It built a ton of momentum. It was just for the wrong team.
It is really unfortunate for the Rebellion, but hopefully they can bounce back from that match just like El Matador did from last week. And speaking of El Matador, we have Kiwi of El Matador coming into the commentary booth. Kiwi, welcome aboard, dude. How are you feeling after that sweep?
Feeling great. That was a great win after last week's match.
So last week you guys were rotating, you guys were giving players chances, and you guys unfortunately lost every game after game 1. Did you guys
Yeah.
decide to stick with a consistent lineup for that reason, or did it just work out for you guys?
I think just schedules really is what came down to it for this week. Last week, Lewis was telling me he really wanted to prioritize getting some rotations in with all the new people coming in, as myself. So that was the reason for that.
I understand, and what I want to highlight is that game 1 in particular, because you guys were looking a little, not settled. Did you guys need to just use that game 1 to settle in and get used to each other before you popped off in games 2 and 3, or was there something else going on there?
No, I think we were just kind of getting the nerves out and trying to see how they were going to play their game and then see how we were going to play. We didn't really have a big plan going into it.
Understandable. You guys settled in relatively quickly too, so you guys were able to see off the Rebellion relatively comfortably in games 2 and 3 especially. Toad, you want to ask your questions?
Yeah, my biggest question is we're coming toward the tail end of the regular season here. Where you are in the standings, it's going to shake around a little bit, but this is week 8 of 11. So where you are is mostly where you're going to be. After this regular season, we're getting into postseason. Do you find yourself on the outside looking in from the first team, or do you think that you are part of that solid 3-man unit for postseason? Where do you think you're at right now? Or is your status?
I think a good interchangeability between me and Pones is where I'm thinking. I think either between me and him, any one of us could probably be called up to be that third man starting. If it's me, I'm confident to do it. I think I can speak for Pones, and I'm sure he's confident to be that third man as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you've played a couple teams so far this season, not too many. Is there any team that you're maybe just sweating a little bit to play in the future? Maybe postseason, maybe regular season. Is there any matchup that you kind of got circled on the calendar as one you got to go try hard on?
I honestly can't say. I mean, this is barely my second week in the league. I'm still familiarizing myself with the teams and the players. I mean, I've looked at the standings and I'm just kind of taking it week by week and getting any information that Lewis and Caesar and other guys share with me and take it from there.
Yeah, like maybe any green team, maybe like any green. Maybe I'm just looking like week 10. Maybe a green team in week 10. Maybe. Do you have that
Week
one
10.
circled?
Week 10 sounds juicy. Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of fans on both sides excited for that matchup. But you've got Steel Army ahead of you next week as you've played fairly early on in the week, day one, so you get at least a full week of rest to schedule a full strength lineup or whatever rotation Luis is cooking up. And you've got Steel Army. Are we thinking it's gonna be a pretty easy, full points week, or is this one where you might have to fight a little bit? I don't know if you saw the matchup previous. It was a bit of a bloodbath, much like your own.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. From what I know, I think we're gonna try to do some rotations, maybe, just to get a lot of the other guys played. I played this week and last week, so might not play next week, which is fine.
Yeah, no, for sure. Will we see Kuv? I know you're not team captain, but I'm pulling for a Kuv sighting again.
Since I've joined, I haven't spoken with Kuv or played with Kuv, so I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay, someone's got him in the basement. Get him out, Luis. Come on.
Maybe he's taking a much-needed break.
For sure, for sure.
Right, so Kiwi, I do have a couple more questions if you don't mind. First of all,
Yeah.
like you got into SGL, relatively recently. You jumped right in. How do you feel about this whole league so far? How have you been finding this whole experience?
As an avid Rocket League player, I've been playing for so many years, and this is my first experience with a league and competitive play. So this is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm enjoying it very much, taking it serious, and very happy I came across Lewis's tweet on Twitter, and I think it's great. I hope to see a lot of more people join and this community grow. It's pretty big. I was fairly surprised to see how serious everyone else took it and the amount of people in here. And love seeing chat and the streams going off. That's awesome to see. Got a lot of supporters there, so that's very helpful for me.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up actually, because you have a lot of supporters, like you especially. So I'm wondering where that came from, because you have a lot of fans in the chat right now.
It's a lot of friends showing up, which is great. That's makes me very happy.
Heck yeah, sounds good. And a bit of a related follow-up. I was told that you're a season ticket holder for El Matador. You've been going to all the games, which is great to hear.
Yep.
How do you see this affecting your ability to participate with El Matador specifically in the match days and beyond?
I haven't really gone that far, thinking that far out about it. It hasn't been an issue. I went to the past game and haven't even considered that, because I'm just kind of thinking I'm gonna make myself available at all possible if I can.
Are you worried that you're going to get recognized too often at El Matador kind of events from now on? Do you have to work on a signature, I guess?
Maybe. I haven't thought about that.
Well,
I'm
still
not,
have
I'm
time,
not too worried
Kiwi.
about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say it. I'm not too worried about it.
Hey, all good. I mean, you have time at the end of the day because you just got it anyways. We'll leave the floor to you now. If you want to, give any shout outs, say anything, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Just shout out to all the guys in the league, everyone here doing their thing, making it happen. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Kiwi. Short and sweet. Just the way we like it. Have a good night, dude. GG's. Good win.
Dude, GG's.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
That was Kiwi of El Matador Toad. Kept his answers to the point. I like him. I feel like he, has a level-headed approach to the whole thing, keeps himself calm, and that's the kind of attitude you need to go forward.
Yeah, he's got like accountant potential. I don't know what's going on, but again, the word pragmatic springs to mind.
I get that for sure, yeah. we do have another interview lined up very shortly. We'll be getting to that in a bit. We've talked a lot about El Matador. Let's talk about the Rebellion a bit, because, yeah, they didn't have the strongest lineup, but the sweep is disappointing. And I don't know if this derails their title race, the top 2 race for them potentially, but they didn't. Couldn't afford to have a sweep right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking for a top 2 finish, this is probably going to crush those dreams, to be honest. I think they've got a very, very good shot at making playoffs, and I think they're most likely going to get that one done. But I think top 2 is probably a bridge too far at this point.
Now, I do want to highlight, they weren't played terribly. Like, the game 1 was very good. That was a very close match. It was just a 1-goal game. Game 2, it kind of got out of control, and Game 3, it all just collapsed. So, where did it go wrong for them, from your point of view?
Yeah, I mean, so their offense was lacking, of course. And any time in a series of 3, you're only getting 1 goal. I think pointing to the offense is a pretty obvious idea here. But I'm going to highlight the other side of the ball in that El Matador had some really nice emergency defending. Against most other teams, those plays Rebellion are going for are going to result in goals. But El Matador just came flying in with last-minute challenges. And I really think they were spurred on from Your Daddy Is Here. They just inspired them to keep their net completely clammed up here, except for that one epic goal from Shorts that I just have to talk about again.
Oh,
but yeah, other than that, the plays they're going for are fine against most teams. It's just like against upper echelon, I don't think those types of plays are going to result in as many goals as they need.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear, the thoughts of one of the Rebellion players coming in. So we have that interview lined up and ready to go. Let's welcome in Shorts of the Rebellion. Shorts, a very disappointing loss, but, given the buffer that you built with your earlier results, it doesn't really harm your playoff chances too much overall. But still, how do you feel after getting swept by El Matador?
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. A humbling game, to say the least, for sure. We'll try to take that as a positive out of it. Something, we needed to be brought back down to earth after winning 5 in a row. But yeah, a little disappointing. But we're not going to take it too much to heart. We'll move on.
That's all good. Toad did highlight something before you came in. He was highlighting that goal you scored in Game 2, that dunk, that sick dunk. Did you feel like that could have inspired you guys for Game 3?
I think it could have if we had a little bit more control of the game than we did have. It did feel a little bit out of our hands at some points. I think if we had other bright spots, that could have been a spark. But, we were kind of just outplayed tonight, to be honest. It was a slower game than we were kind of used to. A little bit that is, the ability to control on their end with their skilled players. But other than that, their recoveries were really good. It seemed like when we had the ball on the offensive side, they always had one guy back to slow down and a second guy coming, just behind him. Whereas we couldn't play the faster paced game in the offensive third that we like to play.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to highlight, because it seemed like you guys are trying to play that, but unlike the past few weeks when you guys had those double commit moments and all, they were just not coming off, and you guys had no one to cover at the back. So, did at any point you guys try to adjust your game plan and just try and change it up?
Oh yeah, I mean it was very evident in Game 3. Of course they got a few late time goals, but our plan to going into Game 3 was trying to play our fastest game as possible and getting into their back end, their defensive end, and demo, make quick plays, quick 50s, and it really just didn't come off for us, obviously.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's a fair response in all honesty. Toad, if you have any questions, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to combine my two obvious questions kind of into one. So you're going in here against an El Matador team that could be really good, could be okay. It turns out they were really good. And you're without Polar, so going into this game, you're without what is, probably your best, at least most consistent player in stats and rankings and all that. And you're up against an El Matador team that I didn't know what to expect. So what did you guys expect the series to look like? Did you have a game plan or any ways to mitigate if Luis were to play or Caesar were to play? Was there a contingency?
Yeah,
what's
I
going through your
was
mind?
just as lost as you were, thinking about what we were gonna end up facing. I played with Lewis past couple nights, and he talked up bringing their A game against us, their number one lineup to show it off and whatnot. So we were expecting their best lineup. Our game was originally supposed to be at Thursday, and then schedule was flipped. So he told me originally that Thursday was gonna be Lewis, Caesar, and Kiwi. And having also played with Kiwi in the past few nights, it's very obvious that why he's in the lineup. Very quality player. So we kind of just expected the best. And when you're facing the best like that, it's kind of tough to really game plan around that when you have such quality players to play against. And even without Caesar being in the lineup, it was Pones slotted in and as the third man for them and played that role solidly. So it was really hard to play against, and even harder to plan for, because you kind of know what you're getting out of Louis and Caesar in terms of quality of play, which you can kind of plan for when you're playing against the solo play aspect, but as a team, it's really hard to prepare for. So yeah, we really didn't have much game plan going into it.
Yeah, and then I think my last question here would be, it obviously tonight didn't really go your way, but what would you have changed? I mean, if you could, and some things are out of your control, lineups, people missing, who your opponent's going to be, but what would be one part of your game that if you could do it over again, you would change in a pretty major way to maybe shift the outcome of this one, whether it be going aggressive or working on rotations, a defensive or attacking, interplays or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I would say, given the way that our current playstyle did not work, hindsight, potentially playing a slower playstyle ourselves, less boom clearances and more absorbing their attacks, I'd say. Because with all the 1v1 ability on that team, we didn't lose because of their 1v1 ability. So I feel like maybe we could have absorbed that a little bit more and played more defensively and slower and matched their game style and played more counterattacking in that sense. But that would have been something we maybe would have had to plan for, switch up our rotations a little bit. So it would have taken a little bit of prep to implement something like that.
No, for sure.
So one more question on my end. This is your first loss in SGL this season since week 2. You guys won 5 matches in a row. With this loss, what are some of the other lessons you're going to take away with you that you haven't already told us about? And how do you guys see yourselves preparing for the final 3 matches of the season against, let me just make sure, Emerald City Blue, the locals, and Steel Army?
Yeah, of course, excited to play the locals as one of the best teams in the league. So that one will take a lot of prep. I've actually just happened to watch a lot of EC Blue, starting from commentating one of their games, and then I feel like I just randomly am able to watch the stream when they're playing a lot. So we do have some ideas about how to play them. Honestly, I didn't even know who we were playing next week because we're kind of focusing on week by week and really focusing on this game against EM. So yeah, we're hopeful, definitely for our games against EC Blue and Steel Army. We're definitely gonna try and put a little something extra into the game against the locals because we'll need it to beat them. I know that maybe I'll be hitting up Toad Death for some tips on how they were able to take care of business. But yeah, a little bit of water view, a little bit of planning, get the whole team on the same page, and maybe solidify better rotations when we have different combinations of players in.
Sounds good, Toad. Sounds good. Toad, I don't want to take up too much of your time as well as Shorts. So Shorts, the floor is yours now. feel free to say whatever you want to say. Feel free to shout out whoever you want to shout out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I I wanted all the support that we could get tonight to try and win this match. So I'm sorry to the fans that I did get to come watch. My buddies Jimmy and Peter, who I brought into the chat, and Mike. Yeah, sorry you didn't get to watch that. Glad you got to watch El Matador score a lot of goals. Thank you, Maz and Toad Death, for commentating and putting it on the stream tonight. Always a great time to be on, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Shorts. Appreciate your time here. Tough loss, but I'm sure you guys will bounce back from here on in. Have a good night, and we'll catch you next time.
Will do. Good night.
So, with not that much time remaining, I think it's important that we highlight the updated league table at this time. So,
Yeah, I've been curious about how this one kind of shakes out.
with that sweep, Toad, El Matador at the top of the table right now, but I'm pretty sure Emerald City RC will overtake them in no time, along with the locals, now that they're back from their week-long break. And we have Steel Army and Timbers Army rounding off the top 6. The Cauldron back down below 6th. They need to keep up those wins. They need to keep that pace going because Timbers Army have now put themselves into the playoff picture. And same goes for EC Blue, who've been ramping it up recently as well.
Yeah, the top 5 is really, really tight right now. It's that number 6 spot that's almost up for grabs more than any other spot, essentially. Timbers Army holding onto it for now, but I know KC Cauldron are going to want that back this week.
Big time, because I think their matchup for this week is against Black Army. Not an easy matchup, but if they can get a win off of them, ooh, that would be huge. Absolutely huge for them.
No, yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say to everyone watching, go ahead, check out that sheet that Maz linked in the comments and fill out your predictions, because I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about who you think is going to win going on week 8, week 9, 10, 11, and then we're into postseason.
Yeah, I just linked that sheet again. Go ahead, open that up, make a copy, put your predictions in, and share it with us on Discord. We'll be happy to see your predictions for this week and beyond. Now, you've already mentioned the top 5 being very close. There's still just a 3-point gap between 1st and 5th, which is absolutely insane. And then for 6th place, it's again a 3-point gap between 6th and 8th. Los Verdes, Steel Army, and EC Defiance are falling away now. You think for all those 3 teams, they need to win right now. They cannot afford to lose. And I fear for EC Defiance if they lose again, because right now they're 12 points behind. If they lose again, it might be all over for them, because mathematically it might be impossible for them to even get that games win percentage on 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw out locals and EC Blue being very, very important to determining the rest of this season. If EC Blue doesn't really get a win, or at least a lot of points on this week, I think postseason is going to look incredibly difficult for them. And number 6 spot's probably going to be a toss-up between Timbers and KC Cauldron, or at least whoever they bump off. I know there's a few weeks to play, but I think that would do it for that 8 through 11 spot. And the 6th spot would be a toss-up for whoever earns it, I guess, through the rest of the 4 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. So for the rest of the matchups, folks, we will inform you about them as they come along. For today, we had a nice doubleheader. We rounded off week 7 with Steel Army versus Timbers Army kicking us off. Timbers Army swept off Steel Army in convincing fashion, and then El Matador followed suit similarly, convincingly beating the Rebellion in their own 3-0 sweep to kick off week 8. Toad Death, any final thoughts before we end the stream?
Yeah, I mean, this was unexpected. Whenever you're going to get 2 back-to-back sweeps on a stream, it's exciting, but it's almost disappointing. You want to see games be tight and just hard-fought games, but this was a throat stomper. I won't lie. You check your curbs, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it was tough.
And for the rest of the teams, they need to get those wins going so they can either get into the top 2 or get into 6th place. But for now, we're going to round off the stream. Thank you all very much for joining. We saw a lot of people chatting, a lot of people catching the gameplay. We thank you all for joining in, and we hope you guys enjoyed this whole stream. This is the Only Bazaar and Toad Death signing off. We will catch you all next time. Peace.
Good night.